Hey guys, it is hump day and I wanted to come on and do a live of just some new stuff that I have. Hello. Well, new to me. I don't think it's like new, but I thought it'd be fun to make a card today using these awesome Day of the Dead stamps. They work perfectly with Halloween. I live in the Southwest and I just love them. So I'm going to be just using a whole bunch of hodgepodge of stuff out of my stash to do this, and we're just going to play. So I hope you guys can join me as I do this. So first thing I want to do is I want to create my base, and if you know me, you know I'm not a big fan of that chalky look. However, with this particular type card base, I think that it's going to be really, really cool to do a chalky look. So I'm going to lay down some Distress Oxide and Wild Honey, some Distress Oxide and Carved Pumpkin, and also the Spiced Marmalade. And the reason why I'm doing this instead of my ink is because I want to layer a stencil over it in Black Soot, and I know that with the Distress Oxides I can go ahead and do that with no problem at all. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my background kind of up and going here, and I am going to distress it out just by adding water. And if you guys aren't familiar with what makes that chalky look, it's definitely the water placement that you use on it. If I wanted it to be more vibrant and not to have a chalky look, then I would go ahead and just layer it on without the water, and I would use my mist at that point, which I am going to use some mist. But anyway, I'm loving what that background is looking like so far. I think it's so pretty. All right, I'm just going to hit that real quick with a heat gun because I want to add a stencil to it. Alright, so I have some Black Soot that I'm going to be using, and then this Tim Holtz stencil for Halloween I thought would be really fun to use as well. But I need to get out a little blending tool, so have that off over here. And it's not quite dry enough yet. I do want it to be a little bit more dry. And whenever you use a heat gun on it to speed up the drying, you really do want to dry both the front and the back. And before I layer that on, I am going to put some spray. And kind of funny story, but Tim Holtz saw this video about how I was trying out the spray and how I didn't really like sprays because they make a mess, and so he sent me a splat box, which is hilarious. But I thought I would break it in with you guys. If you're not familiar with the splat box, I know I've been living under a rock or something because I've never seen one before. Well, I have seen one, but not in years. I actually had them when they first came out. Basically, it's a cardboard box you can break down. It comes together real easy. The little corners slide in and it holds together nicely. And I'm assuming that I could store it flat if I want to. I'm just going to spray some spiced marmalade on top of this just to get this even more distressed look, right, like so. And that kind of blended, so I'm going to do a little bit more. Let's see how that works. And yeah, that went in too. So I'm going to take a little bit of water and just pull out some of that color just to give it some distress. And I might add that at the end. We'll see. right, so it's a really subtle background. And what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to just take and put this off to the side, and I actually am going to try to cover it with the majority of the of those sentiments all over. And so I need to just get some black soot on here like so, and just start to blend it on through like that. And I do work with it going off of the page. I just think it's more aesthetically pleasing to the eye to do so. That's really cool. And then I will just lay down, I kind of want to put that up at the top. And actually, let me go, here we go. I'll put it down like this. That way it's still covering over what I've already done. That. So it really gives a nice coverage on that. I love the Distress Oxides for just this technique with stenciling. And also you're going to see stamping and embossing with this. So I'm just going to hit that, and then I'm just going to take just along my edges with what is left over on my little pad, and just blend it in through like that. And then I will set this aside, and we will work on our image, which is going to be one of those awesome sugar skull images. I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, so my background is pretty much set up from here. I'm going to take that pad off, but I do want to blend that out just a little bit more. So I'm going to put a clean pad on my blending tool and just slightly rub it over all of this, just to, if I can pull any of it out, to do so. If not, no worries, just to soften it a little bit. And there we go. All right, so I love that. Let me hit it with a heat gun. I don't want it to move anymore. All right, so I'm done with those. I am going to keep my black soot out, and then I have over here my circle that I've already gone ahead and cut, and I'm just going to use one of these sugar skulls. Now these are a cling foam, but they're rubber, so you don't have to stamp these on a foam pad. You can just go ahead and stamp these directly on your mat or whatever you have, because there's cushioning in it. I love deep edged rubber like this. I think it gives like the best image ever. These are my favorite kind of stamps. Now I am going to use some black Distress ink as well. And before I stamp, I'm just going to go over it with my little powder pouch, because I just want to make sure I get a nice crisp image. And then from here, I'm going to actually stamp this out in black soot, and then I'm going to emboss it. Distress Oxides emboss beautifully. It's one of my very favorite things to do with it. I just want to make sure that I really have good coverage. I could also use archival ink on this, but the technique that I'm using next, I want to be able to color it in, do it quickly, and be a little bit sloppy with it. And by embossing your image, what it allows it to do is it allows the edges to be raised around, and you can you don't have to be so particular with getting everything in the lines. You don't have to stay in the lines. It kind of helps you do that yourself. And with this particular image, I really don't care if I do stay in the lines, but I definitely want a little bit of help. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this on out like so. And since I went ahead and I ran that powder pouch over it, it only hit where my ink is hitting, the embossed did. And if I have any spots, like right there, I can just take a dry soft paintbrush and lift it out of the way. And then I was looking for my reverse tweezers. Usually I have them right there, but I can't find it, so that's okay. Just don't want to burn myself. Let me go ahead and get something to hold this down. And I'm going to pick it up. I tend to do better if I can look at it a little bit more closely. Make sure, okay, it's starting to. See, that just embosses, it's so pretty. All right, let that cool for just a second, and then I'm gonna pull out my distress pins. I kind of want that loose feel. It's gonna be so cool because I'm gonna go in and just start to color this in random spots. Hit it with a little bit of water. The color's gonna kind of move, and it's gonna give a really cool loose watercolor effect to it. So these are all of mine. I got these a couple years ago. And the first thing I want to do is I want to color in that heart. Now I do like bright colors, so I'm going to do candied red. I know that not everybody does, and that's totally cool, but I am a bright and vibrant type artist, so I really like those bright colors. And I'm just going to do this little spot up here, red on her. And then let me go ahead and color in the bones. And let me see here. I should have gone through these first, huh? Oops, my bad. I am looking for, is this my pumice? Yeah, this is pumice stone. All right, so I'm going to just really color in real loose. You know, I'm not totally trying to be perfect here with my coloring, because I am going to squirt it with some water to get it to move. If I want it to move, I may get done and go, you know what, I don't want it to move. We will see. And then I want her little teeth to be yellow, kind of yellow, right? They need to be yellow. And let me do her flowers. Thinking her flowers should be, some of it should be purple. So I'll do a couple of them purple. And I'm literally, if you guys can't see, I'm just tapping it. I'm not even really doing a very good job coloring. I'm just literally tapping it. And I also want some blue down there. And over here, And then I'm going to go in on that one little spot right in the center with some pink. Like so. And then I'm going to go over her dress with this same pink. No rhyme, no reason. And then I think I want to make her hair kind of like this shaded lilac. And she does have a little flower over there, so I'll go in over there as well. The stamp is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And see, I'm not being perfect. And then I'm going to go into her hair with some, let's do some purple. And then I am going to loosen this up with a couple spritz of water. Okay, so that's what she looks like so far. Okay, and I'm not done. I'm going to spray her with some water. I'm going to loosen her up a little bit. And then if the intensity is too vibrant, I can go in and lift with a paper towel. So, see how it starts to run? That's exactly what I want. I want it to kind of run and get kind of, you know, a little bit all over the place. So, let me go in with a paper towel. Actually, I can just go in with this and just loosen that up. All right, and then I'm going to hit it with some water. And when I did that, it transferred some of the color. Always get your back side because your water goes through to the back side. And I'm going to take that same black suit the pad that I used to create the background, the stenciling on the background, and I'm just going to see if I may need to wet it down. So let's just see here. I may have to pick some more up, but I really wanted it, there we go, to just go on in a little bit with that. Distress it out on the side some, like so. Give the edges some color, then hit it with just a little bit of water, and then lift that away. Boom. I'm really liking how freaky that looks. Perfect for Halloween. Alright, so I have these little mini archival inks, and let me get the edge. I want to go over in the archival black along my edges just to finish it off, and then we'll go ahead and assemble the card. I just like to run this on the edges a little bit better than the Distress Oxides. Okay. So, there's that, and let's start to assemble the card. Let me put this off to the side. I have a card base that I did fold down into a 5.5 by 4.25, so this is 8.5 across by 5.5. If you have cardstock that is like business letter size, all you have to do to create a card base is just cut that in half. And you'll have no waste, and you'll get 2 cards out of it, just so you guys kind of know. And I'm using glitter glue on this just because it is kind of wet still, and if I use my regular tape runner, it won't adhere quite as nicely as this does. And if any of this seeps out, it's not the end of the world. I can totally go back in and move it around, and it dries totally clear. So I'm totally okay if it seeps out. No big deal. So I have that nice black base down like so. And then I want to put my little gal on here. And I also have a sentiment that I created. This is from, I took some glitter, and this is an alphabet die. I think it might be Sizzix. It might even be Tim Holtz's line. And I just did You Kill Me. And then I also got, because I couldn't resist, this really cool wallpaper. It's the Halloween line by Tim Holtz, and I love it. It has a really fun like wallpaper feel to it. And even though it's Halloween, it doesn't like scream Halloween, which I think is really nice. It's kind of subtle. So I totally love that. So for my sentiment, I'm just going to go over and attach my glitter cardstock that I use to cut out the words "You Kill Me," and attach it to a piece of that wallpaper paper so that it shows through. And I did measure it out flush, so it's going to be on this one, and I'm just going to line it up like so. And now I have a little cute sentiment or spooky sentiment, I shouldn't say cute, for the card. It looks really cool. I love it. And then from here, I just have to figure out where I want to place everything. This is 4.25 across, and my cardstock base is only 4 by 5.25, so I know that it has to go across, and I was just thinking about doing this kind of up and then this right on the bottom of that circle. And I might even do pop dots on it. But it's all a little bit wet still, so I have to use that glitter glue just to make sure that it adheres nicely. All right, and that did adhere real nice. And then I'm just gonna do this kind of off on the bottom. And I do think I'm gonna go ahead and use some pop dots on this instead of the glitter glue. I'm going to use the thin 3D Pop Dots by 3L scrapbook adhesive. I think it's really, I love these things. It adds a little bit of dimension to it, but it doesn't bulk it up so much that when it goes through the mail, you know, the post office has a hard time with it, and it still causes it to fit in envelopes, which I totally appreciate. And then from here, I'm just going to line up this like so, and then there we go. Cute little card. I think I am going to throw on some tonic black Nouveau Dewdrops on that. Let me go get them. I think they're right over here. But this is super cute and sparkly. Love it. All right, so let's see here. Now this did come off the edge a little bit, so I do want to go ahead and just trim that down off the back like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and just add some of these crystal drops to this. I do have a link to Tonic Studios in my profile. So I'll just do 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Cute little fast, not your traditional probably distressed look on a card, but came together relatively quickly with all the fun stuff from the distress line. All right, you guys, I hope that you enjoyed this. And let me see if there's any comments, because now I can look. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Crafty. Ghoulie Girl, that's cute. Thank you. All right, you guys, I am going to upload this video to YouTube probably as well. But this was kind of fun to make, and I'm going to be doing more Instagram lives periodically, probably on Wednesdays, I'm hoping. Have a good one. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will catch you all later. Bye. Happy crafting.